Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Switching over.
Hello.
Also switching from spoilers section because we're not there yet. But I
Perfect.
Yeah.
I tested you. You had a 30-second test to guess if we were going to be in spoiler section.
You had a split second there to just
Yeah.
start saying all kinds of shit, and you didn't do it. Well done.
Wasted opportunity. Hi, I'm Erin.
I'm Dodger.
And I'm Moeka. Hi.
And
Me VTuber now.
I know, look at that.
Yeah.
And I'm Lou.
Lou.
And we are MangaPod, a weekly podcast in which we all get together after we read all or part of a manga, and then we discuss it with friendship, love, and lots and lots of spoilers. This week we are talking Samurai 8, volumes 1 through 3, chapters 1 through 24. If you guys have never joined us for a MangaPod before, what we like to do is give you a short spoiler-free description of the manga that we read, aka summary, as well as our spoiler-free recommendations, whether we think you should spend time going to read this manga or not. That way, if it sounds like something you're interested in, you can take your leave once we get to spoiler section, come back and watch the VOD later on YouTube at Happily Erin or on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere you can listen to podcasts. We're also on there. So,
Yeah.
Adugs, do you want to read the description?
Read the summary. I can. Y'all ready for this?
I'm ready.
Yes,
he
ready.
can't run.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my god.
Oh, you ruined it.
I worked up to it and everything.
I thought there was just like a really long pause, so I was like, does she need encouragement?
Please, allow me to get into character. He can't run. He can't eat heart food. He can't get any weaker than the boy named Hachimaru. But his dream is to become a samurai. For a boy who can't even survive without the help of his father, the dream seems impossible. But when a samurai cat appears before him, his whole life will change. A samurai is given a mission to try and save all of the scattered planets and their respective inhabitants by finding Pandora's box. And the warrior god, Fudumyo, sealed a secret that will save the entire world inside. In order to open it, someone has to find the 7 keys. Is Hachimaru, a feeble boy who's required medical assistance since birth, one of them? Thank you.
Yay!
I rallied.
You came back. All right, let's go around and give our spoiler-free recommendations. Who would like to go first? Should Lou go first?
Yeah.
Lou said it's okay, but he understands why it was canceled. That's Lou's.
I would second that.
Yeah.
It's okay, but I understand why it was canceled. I think that the basic idea of the world is interesting and the execution is not interesting.
Yes.
So would I recommend it? I don't know. It got canceled. We'll never get like the full on like what was intended here, but what we read so far was just like it's all right. So I wouldn't go out of my way to recommend it to somebody, no.
Yeah.
I would not recommend this.
Yeah.
No reasons for Moeka.
No.
Just don't fucking bother, says Moeka.
No, I think that the story itself I'm okay with, but it's like for me the biggest deterrent is definitely the art.
Mm-hmm.
Is all I'll say.
Yeah. Same. I don't recommend it either. I think there's a lot of other manga, especially shonen manga, that you can spend time going to read. Even 24 chapters, it was like, no, there's no point in going back, like going and reading this. And we'll get more into it, But yeah, the art was a deterrent, the storytelling, the reveal of information, the characters, like none of it really stood out as intriguing or important enough to be like, you can't miss this one. So.
Yeah.
So there, and if anybody...
Wow, damn, this is rare form. We're all saying don't bother. So
yeah,
buckle up for spoiler section.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I feel like the last one we had this was Sayonara Zebutsu Sensei. Yeah, Super Sensei.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that one.
I don't think you were here for that one.
Yeah, it's the teacher that always wanted to like off himself because depression and dark comedy.
Yeah, I was not here for that one.
Mm-mm. I just used my camera as a mirror, so everybody knows.
You do what you gotta do.
I got. I bit my lip, and like I didn't think anything happened. I dropped my phone on my face last night, and it hurt, but I didn't think. And so I'm just now noticing that. And so I was.
Damn.
Don't drop your phone on your face, chat.
Don't drop your phone on your face.
No,
that's the lesson
fun.
here.
You could wake up the next morning and be like, "What the hell?"
Cool. Let's go into spoiler section. Sorry. What I was gonna say is, anybody is curious before we go into spoiler section. This manga is done by the guy who created Naruto. So that is going
a Kishimoto special.
So that is going to give a lot. There's going to be a lot of input from us on that, I think, as well. So just be aware that he created this one too. So
yes.
All right. Actual.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
No one is particularly God.
And no one is particularly godly. The cat.
Daruma.
Daruma.
Yeah, I think that's the closest we get. Also, someone said, yes, this is a joint manga with Kishimoto and Akira Okubo.
So it's not just Kishimoto.
No, it's not just Kishimoto. Because the story and all that is Kishimoto, and then Akira Okubo is in charge of the art.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. Let's start with the question that... What?
Nothing.
Let's start with the question that we usually start with, which is, what were you expecting going into this manga? I heard that Kishimoto was making a new manga. So I knew that. Yeah. But I didn't know anything else about it. Mm-hmm. And so going in, my expectations weren't really much of anything. Like, I was kind of middle ground, but then also knowing that it was Kishimoto's made me a little bit more interested, because I was like, what is he doing? Like, what's a new manga for him? What's it gonna be like? I also didn't know it was canceled at the time that we started reading it. So I had middle of the road, or slightly higher middle of the road expectations for it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Naruto has its problems, but I still enjoyed it. So I was like, oh man, a fresh start, right? Like a fresh new story from Kishimoto after like hopefully learning a lot from Naruto. Like, that's kind of exciting. I actually had like pretty high expectations for it. And found myself, I don't want to say put off, but like from the get-go not being able to totally follow exactly what was happening in terms of the art and the story. Like, they were both muddy from the start. It was not a good like takeoff, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
What about you, Moika?
I I just all I knew was okay, Kishimoto's on here. Maybe I'll really like the characters, and I don't know, man. What I got was not what I was expecting at all.
Mm.
I don't know. It just feels so flat.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think a lot of people watching this right now are probably like, wow, this manga must be absolute garbage. It's more, the issue I think more is that it's painfully mediocre.
Mhm.
That a lot of the issues, like a lot of the character problems and like execution of character problems that Kishimoto has had in Naruto, he just like makes the same mistakes again. Look, I'll be
Mhm.
straight up. There's like one female character in this, and she's a support character, and her whole thing is that she's like kind of pitiful and sad. And that's like it. That's her
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
fucking thing. And I was so annoyed.
And it's not even like just the fact that she's a support. She is literally, she spends her time praying for him, like taking care of, to support him, cooking for him. And her entire thing is like she's a princess. And so she has to cater and dedicate her life to like doing everything that the samurai needs from her in like a very like, I don't know, misogynistic way. Like, I don't know how to say it otherwise.
I mean, from the get-go, it like, oh my God. Just the whole, like, every chapter we have to have a scene where he's like, don't worry, I'll protect you. I'm gonna grow as a samurai and protect you with my life. And I'm like, okay. Okay.
It's,
Sorry.
No, it's like Kishimoto took the whole, oh, I can't write women. That's why what happened in Naruto happened with all the lady characters. And instead of like realizing that he could have more women
Trying to be better
than just being like the only woman is a support character, when there's all these other characters that could easily be women, and be like, oh, okay, I know what to do with women now.
Make it so that it's really difficult for them to talk, and then have them pray a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pray for, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's like
you nailed it.
It's always so odd with him, because it's like it's almost like the thought is always, okay, I have this one like decent older female character who's badass.
Yep.
What if for the younger one, the only way I get like character growth out of them is by making them like the most stereotypical, like girly, weak, like tropey girl characters. And so it's just like, I don't know.
You can tell that like the effort was made there to be like, look, he started off as a weirdo, and she's definitely a weirdo, and together their weirdo powers will be just what this world needs. Right? So we get all of these scenes with her like trying to do flower arranging and making a monstrosity, and not ever being particularly good at cooking, and losing the ball that she found, and like, oh, she's such a mess up. She'll never find her samurai, right? Which already is like an annoying concept. Like, if you aren't going to find your samurai, what good are you as a person?
Yeah, how are you going to be
never find
successful
her
in
samurai.
life? Yeah.
Yeah.
The only way you can have value is if you find a man.
Right.
Because apparently
And
all
then-
samurai are men so far. I believe.
Except maybe Daruma's like old master.
Yeah,
We've
she's
seen
yeah.
like flashbacks. But yeah, for the
Mhm.
longest time I was like, wait, is straight up like dudes are samurais? And because originally I thought to myself, Daruma, when he was like kind of like vaguely explaining the concept of the princess. So for anybody who hasn't read this manga, the idea is that a samurai is someone who it can awaken in anybody. It's like determined by like a god of might out there somewhere. And you need a trinity of things in order to be at your full like max power, right? And one of them is basically like your animal companion, and the other one is your princess. And I was like, oh, maybe the reason he's being so vague about it is because the princess is it's not necessarily like a princess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is why like he thought to himself, oh, well, you know, somebody that I really want to protect is my dad. And I was like, oh, it would be so sweet if like the like princess archetype for him was his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mhm.
And then they were like, no, there's literally a place where they train princesses to do flower arranging and pray a lot. I was like, okay, fuck it, never mind.
Yep.
Man, I'll wait. Wait, we're in spoiler sections.
We are.
So
Yeah,
okay,
so
okay,
hard.
Spill.
Hard.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I went in thinking, oh my god, okay, our main boy is gonna be the samurai, and then Anashi is gonna be his princess. And I was like so into it. And then the second they introduced the girl that was at his actual princess, I deflated so hard. I was oh my god. Like, it could have been so good, guys. It could have been so good.
It could have. That was the other thing. Yeah, speaking of, that was the other thing that I thought was so weird about how like strictly gender roles it seems like he went with this story is that one of the very first characters we meet is someone who is established as like, I don't know what gender I am. I'm still trying to figure out who I am and where I fit in the world and like all of this stuff. And I was like, oh, interesting. And then they were like, but let's just leave that person somewhere else and dive deep in this other direction. I was like, okay.
But then also at the same time making them so important to the fact where Hanmichi will remember them when he's fighting. He'll be like, oh, I know all about this counter because I fought against this amazing person when I was playing the game. And it's like, there's no emotional connection to that relationship because it's like not a thing. Yeah, we'll randomly have a flash to like Nanashi being like, oh my gosh, I know who's gonna win this fight. Like he feels some disturbance in the force or something. And it's just like, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah. Also, can we talk about the fact that one of the like later reveals in our reading is that Daruma made the video game?
Right?
Oh my god, yeah.
It was like, I'm very glad that I took all of that time to make that samurai training simulator. And I was like, what?
What the fuck? Bro, you have too much time on your hands.
For real.
It's like
dying.
It's like, so we have it at the beginning where he is connected to all the cables and stuff. And he's not allowed to go outside. He's only allowed to play this video game.
Right.
But then we also have this world where people are called samurais and are mechanical and all of this like crazy sci-fi stuff. And then we have the princess aspect in the space, and then it's like more fantasy. So there's all of these different genres trying to be written about, I feel like, mush into this one story, but none of them, there's so many ideas and no fleshing out of the ideas. So it just feels like all these different things end up being like an excuse for something happening in that moment. So like the video game seems so important, but it only comes up in flashes. So it doesn't feel like connected to anything. So it just feels like, oh, we have him training now. Oh, he's using the video game. Oh, this thing happened. So I don't know. It felt so all over the place in terms of linking those things together.
Yeah, I think that this is another moment where we can say the art did not support the concepts well. Mm-hmm. The times when they are reflecting back on a game or inside of the game at the beginning of the manga, it should have been, I don't even necessarily need it to be a different style, but there should be some kind of a visual indicator. And also, like they obviously wanted it to be, sci-fi fantasy, right? Is like these there's some kind of a god out there that turns normal people into cyborg samurai that are supposed to save the universe, right? Like that's like a like high concept shit. But their transformation sequences and all of this other stuff is so muddy in the way that it's drawn. Half the time I couldn't tell that they were like applying their armor, and when their bodies would like separate, like at times it looked really cool. You could tell there was, I think this is what's so frustrating about this manga, is you can tell that world building wise and like aesthetic wise, there's a really good base of an idea there, but it's just not executed in a way that comes across clearly. And the thing that could have saved it is like strong, interesting characters, and we didn't get that either. So
yeah. I agree with the art. It was so like, I think the problem was with the paneling and the lack of shading.
I was gonna say, the biggest issue with the art is definitely that he does not know how to like, he doesn't know how to do like color palettes that well, and so everything is just either stark white with like a shade of gray here and there, and then that's it.
Yeah,
like the toning, the toning is just, it's just not good.
Like, and they have such a love of rocks and rocky, like earthy places that all of the transformations and stuff are very sharp edged. It's not super smooth or elegant. They're very hard. And so when you have that and then the same kind of style with rocks that are pure white behind it, the action just doesn't flow. You have no idea what's going on. And so it just, it makes it so difficult to follow and understand what's happening. And also felt like the transformations, despite so much exposition, there were times where I was like, wait, I don't get how this system works, or this like part of the, what is the dog? Like, I get that they're protectors as well, but what exactly?
But what are they?
But what are they?
Yeah.
And you would think, like, this is kind of hopping from art into storytelling. But
it's okay, we'll just mesh them both together. We're talking about all of it together, so it's fine. Just for today.
So the storytelling was so much exposition so quickly and very not organically created. Instead of letting the world play itself out, it was all up front trying to describe the world, the powers, what sort of character and what sort of role do different characters make for a team. And I was thinking about it, that when I compare it to Naruto, it's pretty much what happened in Naruto. There was a lot of like upfront exposition in terms of the nine-tailed fox, the ninjas and things like that. But I feel like it's a very 90s way of introducing a shonen, I feel like. And I just don't think it works anymore. I don't think that works for manga now, especially with the kind of shonen we're getting, like Hunter x Hunter, which I know is older, but Hunter x Hunter is like a good example of like showing the world but allowing it to be told over the course. And then Boku no Hero, Chainsaw Man, like it's just like the world is being introduced more. The world is being allowed to explain itself without being everything dumped on at the beginning. Like you get simple concepts at the start, and then it expands over time as needed. And like one of the things that really stood out to me was when Anne was first introduced. The other princess comes in, is like, Anne, you lost your ball, the ball that tells you where your samurai is and does this and this. I'm like, Anne would know that. Like, you don't just like I get you want the reader to know that, but there's so many other ways that you could have like introduced that. Instead it was like, here you go. Yeah. Sorry, I kind of wandered off on a trail there that I don't know if made any sense, but
that's the beauty of MangaPod. It's our show. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
I had trouble kind of building off of something you said earlier. Sorry, but I had trouble like distinguishing where we were a lot of the time. Like when they went to where the princesses are trained, I could not tell if we were like supposed to still be on the same planet or like in a totally different place. And I think, yeah, especially once they went into space, I don't know if one of the issues is that the like seamlessness between the end of a chapter and the beginning of the next is almost non-existent for a lot of these chapters. Like sometimes you feel like you missed something going into the next chapter.
Yeah.
But there were moments like this is Hachimaru's first time going into space, right? Like we got his first exploration of the world outside of his house, and that was awesome. But like he made it really clear, like I want to go to space. And then once they got into space, it felt like it was like it was just like, we're in space now.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the like vastness and the like excitement about being in space was not sold with the art either. When we got to the chapter where like what was his name? Ren? The little
the
thief
ninja guy?
bitch. Yeah.
Thief bitch.
Yeah, those two. You know, thief bitch and forgetful samurai.
Yeah.
Those two. When they like when they showed up, I was like, where are we? Oh, we're in space. Oh, we're at like a depot? Oh, are they stealing the ship? I was so confused. Every step of the way, I was so confused. So I don't know. I don't know what it was. And I think I would have to like read it again to understand what it was about it that made it so that I was so just like constantly confused. But I think part of it definitely was that the art felt so samey. It didn't like it didn't feel like we were going to new places really.
Yeah.
So Moeka, what are your thoughts?
God, this could have been cool as shit, and it
dude.
wasn't. It's just
your character
looks so happy about it.
When you went it went
I don't, man, you guys pretty much covered it. It's just like again, like oh my god, the news, like I can't. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, bitch boy and I can't remember shit boy, like they could have dude, they're up my alley, but I just by the time I got to those chapters, I was just like, I don't give a fuck. This is like I can't get into the story. There's too much there's too much like lore dumping, and it's just everything felt like it was going too quick.
Yeah. And by the like Rio also the like goof of him constantly being like, huh? What do you mean? Who am I? What's this? Who's that? I was like, surely we could have toned this back a little bit.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be this intense.
Yeah. What is my name? Who am I? What do you mean?
But sometimes he does remember. I'm like, this is so inconsistent.
Yes. The best goof with that was when little bitch boy was like, kill everyone but the woman. And Ryu attacks him. And he's like, what are you doing?
You said everybody.
You said everyone but the woman.
And then honestly, the follow-up of him going to kill the cat and then being like, are you a lady cat?
Oh my god, yeah.
It was so dumb. It was so dumb. But honestly, that was like one of the only moments where I snickered a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes. And talking about like characters, the random samurai guy who showed up during the battle royale to fight against Hachimaru with the mask covering, he was like, I sense heroism in you. And And then just like, it was like the tuxedo mask meme where he shows
Oh
up
my God,
and then Sailor
yeah.
Moon goes, "You didn't do anything," and he just like
And he just flies away.
flies off.
No, for real. He showed up and everybody was like, this guy seems important to the plot, stares at the camera. And then they were like, let's have a duel, and sliced at each other once. And he was like, I withdraw, and just hopped on his bird thing and flew away. I was like, what the hell? And then Daruma is over here being like, yes, Hachimaru will learn lots from this experience.
And it's like, we did not need another character to come in and be like, Hachimaru is the key. He's going to look. It's like,
Oh my
we
God,
have had
yeah.
5
so
people.
true.
We don't need another one being surprised at the fact that Hachimaru is a samurai and a key.
So freaking true.
Well, not
it was just yet another situation of somebody being like, this kid's important. Did you know?
Mm-hmm.
Should we talk?
Yeah, 'cause
oh, sorry.
Oh no, sorry. I was just gonna say, yeah, it was really annoying because it wasn't just, oh, he's a samurai. It was, oh, his samurai spirit's completely white. Oh,
Yeah.
top tier, like special, like above top tier.
He's
It
a
was so
true
like,
key.
yeah, it was
Hog.
just, oh, please, why?
Yeah. Oh my God. Wait, but can we also talk about the fact that he has 7 Sasuke brothers out there in space?
Oh my God,
I
oh my
was gonna
God.
say that. Let's talk about the villain. I was like, let's talk about the villains
Oh
with
my
this.
God. When they brought up just like literally what looked like 7 Sasuke's on a little hologram video, I was like,
Mhm.
no. And they were like, we are your brothers and you were a mistake. Goodbye. I was like, what the fuck?
What did he say? They were like, we're sextuplets, and he goes, or I guess it's better to say we're octuplets. And I was like,
Yeah.
slow your roll, Sasuke.
Yeah, when they showed the tree with like all of their like big, I was gonna say big balls. I'm just gonna go with it. When it showed all of their big balls, and then it showed like Hachimaru, like just this itty bitty little ball, like off of the side of the tree. Like, see, this is a visual representation of how little you matter in the whole scheme of things. So weird.
So, should we talk about Hachimaru as a character? Even though
Sure.
he's important and he's the protagonist. If you guys
He
didn't
is.
know,
He is special and important. He is a true key.
Yes, very, very important.
Honestly, like I don't out of all of the characters, I don't mind Hachimaru that much.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
I think in the same vein of what Moeko is saying, it feels like his growth is happening very fast, along with the rest of the story happening very fast, right? He went from like a really sort of arrogant because of insecurity sort of character to like a character that displays grand heroism, etc.
Mhm.
Mhm.
pretty quickly, you know.
I have something I want to say about him, but I'm trying to figure out how to word it correctly. So I need a.
I thought it was so cool that he was like disabled, and it was just like, wow, how are we? Oh, okay. I guess this is how he's gonna become a normal person.
We're gonna fix him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna
like,
say something about that, but I
aw,
wasn't sure
so
how to say it.
disappointed.
Yeah.
F it. I'm saying it. No, just kidding.
I mean, I think that there are so many stories that go this way, right? Where it's somebody who is like bedridden or whatever. And the way for them to get involved in the story and be important is for them to be like fixed, right?
Mhm.
And it would have been interesting for that to have not been the case, especially since we started off the story with like an option for him like on the horizon to be able to leave his house for the first time.
Mhm.
And like I thought that actually something that I could have said at the beginning with the like, what were you expecting? was after the first chapter, I thought, oh shit. Well, not after the first chapter, because I guess he already was a samurai by the end of the first chapter. But like at the start of the story, I was thinking to myself, oh, is the way that he's going to like be involved is he like controls like a virtual samurai. That would be tight. But that's not the direction they went with.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been cool. I think, still trying to figure out how to say this, but I feel like Hachimaru is so easygoing and shit, I just don't know how to say it. I feel like there's not all of his angst and motivation feels very surface level. And I'm not saying that he needs to be so angsty and over the top with it. But even when his dad died and he decided that his way of samurai is that he's going to protect the people close to him, that's what his motivation is. Even then, it just like doesn't feel like that's the driving force for it. And then you have so many people coming in and saying you're gonna lose being a hero. Like you have a weak condition with wanting to protect people. Like you don't really want to do it. There's never him being like, no, that's not true. It's always him just like listening and then moves on to him wanting to fight someone else.
Right.
Like it just feels very surface level, not super deep. Like the motivation for him isn't really there. And so even though it's been said out loud that it is, but it feels like he's just going with the flow. Like he's just fighting and being really good at it. And so him as like a character, personality wise, I enjoy, but his entire motivation, it just doesn't feel like is doing much, which I think bums me out a lot. Because it's like, what do I root for you for? You're a chosen one.
Yeah.
But what?
Right.
Yeah. Still don't know if I nailed how I wanted to say that, but I feel like I gave an idea. But
Yeah, I think he's generally, in terms of how he's written, he's like a pretty safe, basic protagonist. There isn't necessarily anything super wrong with him, but there also aren't any risks being taken with him in terms of his character. I think that he shares a lot of the like basic faults personality-wise that Naruto had, which felt like a safe choice. You know, they're both kind of the like, I'm going to be a braggart until it's thrown back at me kind of a thing.
yeah.
But yeah, he's all right. A lot of the characters are just all right, you know? It's just...
Yeah.
What did you guys think of Ata, the villain boy, who you were
Honestly,
like, oh, he died. No, wait, it was just a fake body. His real self
It
is
was a
out in
fake.
space.
Honestly, I thought that it was interesting that he talked with and regarded Daruma with like so much respect. Because typically in this kind of a dynamic of like, they are my former student, they're like, that's right, old man, I left and did my own thing and fuck you, right? But that wasn't the vibe at all with them. It's like Ata comes across as an actual zealot, I think.
Yeah.
You know, like, I didn't want to do these things, but I needed to, because it's what I believed was what needed to happen for, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I actually really appreciated that. It was a different angle than I expected, but...
What about you, Malika?
I liked Ata. I was just like, why? What made you like? How did you get introduced to the concept of, oh, we were like making fake keys or artificial keys to open up was it Pandora's box?
Pandora
Yes.
What did they
and
call it?
Gamora or something.
Pandora and Gamora. That's not it.
That's not it.
Pandora and oh my god,
I
I
want to say
can't remember.
Mandala for some reason,
Mandala?
but I don't.
It's something that is very similar to Pandora, but they changed like the first 2 letters or something. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. I was really interested in that, but then it was just like, oh no, we're gonna get back to Hachimaru because he's the protagonist, and it just made me. It made me want the story to like get scaled down and it just be about Daruma and Ada, honestly. Because I think it would have helped this story out more if it had been like, hey, we're gonna start off with like Daruma, he's off in an adventure trying to find something. It doesn't even have to like tell us what it is. And then eventually it's like, oh, I found what I was looking for. And then by the time like him going on these little adventures, you would have found out, oh, he's looking for like the special key, whatever, which is like Hachimaru or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the approach could have been different. Absolutely.
Yeah, what did you guys think about Daruma?
I'm kind of neutral on Daruma. Like, obviously, I'm like, oh, he's a fat cat. I love it. But in terms of his personality, considering how cocky he comes across in his like pre-cat form, we don't really see any of that in his current cat form. He's just like an old depressed cat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wish that he was a bit more sassy.
Yeah. When he came out, I was like, oh, he's gonna be like Nyako Sensei from Natsume, and not at all. Yeah,
We need more spice. We need more spice in this group.
Yeah, there's not much sass, and like,
you cooked in the spice.
There's not like Daruma will have the little hints of it being like hiss and stuff, but then it's just like, I feel so out of character when he does it because there's not much spice in him otherwise. And so just like when it comes out, it's like, okay, there it is.
Do you guys feel like one of the issues is like kind of a commitment to this vibe of samurai follow like these codes and behave in these ways? And so it feels kind of like all of the samurai you meet are just wet blankets.
Yeah.
Like every samurai we meet is like, I believe in honor and being a hero, etc. And they all just wind up feeling very samey. Like the first samurai that we met that came over with Anne, I actually expected him to take on more of an antagonist role. And he didn't. He just showed up and was like, hey, I found that Hachimaru kid. He like might be important. And they were like, oh, tight. Leave Anne there. And he was like, got it. That was like all he did. Yeah. But overall, yeah, it feels like there's definitely an effort to be like, yes, this is sci-fi fantasy, but we're still trying to pull from, you know, the kind of stereotyped feel of what a samurai is supposed to be and how they're supposed to act. And I guess in that way, maybe what they were hoping is that like Anne obviously is very different from all the other princesses, and Hachimaru is obviously very different from all the samurai, but Hachimaru is slowly starting to become a wet blanket anyway. Even just in the first 24 chapters that we read, we're like losing some of his like aggro-ness. And Anne, in her like, I'm becoming more confident and I'm believing in myself more as a princess, is literally just the character going, I'll pray for you. That's all she does, right? Like for both of them, it feels like their like growth makes them less interesting.
It's true.
I will say for Anne though, I went, so when they like when they both first got introduced to each other, I was like, oh, she has a crush on him or something. And then when they gave us her backstory, I was just like, oh my God, she doesn't have a crush on him. She just sees him as her brother. And
Yeah.
that I really liked, but I just
Mhm.
wish that we had gotten that like sooner, to kind of fuck, what's the word I'm trying to think about? To help break up all the like lore dump, essentially. If they had done it
Mhm.
sooner, I think it would have helped.
Yeah, her backstory was like perfectly sad. I don't know how else to put it, but it was like very tragic in a way that
Mm-hmm.
that definitely made me like, oh shit, you're looking at this situation totally differently than we thought you were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 I feel like I can sum up this series as there was so much potential and it just like always fell short,
Yeah.
like in every aspect.
But guys, we got to come on a podcast and laugh about it together, and honestly now I appreciate it more.
Yeah. I kind of agree.
So
Our best podcasts are when we don't like a series.
I know.
Like.
And every time, mark our words, chat, every time you go into the YouTube comments later and people are like, you just didn't get it. you didn't get it. There are layers here.
You didn't
like, no,
read far
yeah.
enough. It's always you didn't read far enough. It's like we read 40 chapters.
This is an opinion-based podcast, and if you don't like our opinions, I can't help you.
It's so true. It's so true.
It got canceled for a reason, someone said. Print that.
Yeah.
Print that.
Yeah, it was really funny, like reading, because I went back and read some like early interviews, and people were like, "Oh, how long do you expect this to be?" Or like, "How long?" And then Kishimoto being like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe like 10 volumes." I think, yeah, man, it's just feels bad because he was thinking, "Oh, I'll do like 10 volumes." And then if it's doing decently, this will be my next Naruto.
Right.
And then it was like him really trying to do something different from Naruto, in the sense of like not directly ninjas and whatnot.
Right.
And then it just being like, oh no, this is not happening. All right. Oh,
Yeah.
it's dead at five volumes. All right.
I will say it like he definitely trusts his assistants a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like one of his assistants runs Borderto, right?
Yeah.
And then he like went in on this one with one of his assistants. He must treat them pretty well or have like a pretty good relationship with his assistants, which is like nice to see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would hope that after making a manga like Naruto for so long that he would have had input about how to like lay things out so that there's clarity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there just wasn't a whole lot of clarity when it came to the fights and what was happening and like what was going on from scene to scene and if we missed something. And I will acknowledge some of that could be translation errors. Some of that absolutely could just be like the way it's translated feels like there's no like smooth in between, but I don't know.
Someone earlier in chat mentioned that there was a new editor put on it, who wasn't as strong of an editor as that was necessary.
Interesting.
Which can definitely affect a story and how it's told and pacing and stuff like that. Yeah. Man, I want to see if he does something else too. Like, it is something that what can he do different? Like, maybe he learned from this about what he can do next time. Or he even, like, picks out one or two things from this manga and expands on them in a different way, which he could totally do.
Yeah. I mean, he's older, right? Like, he's been doing this for a while. I would be totally fine with him, like, shifting gears if he wanted to. There are plenty of mangaka who have completely... Arakawa has completely shifted gears in the past, right? I would be down for him to be like, look, I did Naruto. I crushed it.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to do something else, you know, that more, like, fits the pace that I want out of my, like, mangaka life. But maybe he just wants to keep doing shonen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought was, like, interesting, because it's like, this wasn't, like, Hachimaru or Samurai 8 was not just him. It was like, it's a collaboration. And so in my eyes, that was like, oh, he's like wanting to try something new. And then I like, sure, he's older now, whatnot, and he has other projects going on at the same time. But it's like, well, that's why he got like a different artist to work with. So it's like such a shame. But I mean, it's cool that, because he made bank off of Naruto, so it is kind of cool that he's just kind of like, whatever. My assistant wants to try paneling and whatnot on his own or like their own, whatever. Fuck it, I'm gonna give him a try. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
I'm not rich anymore. Like, that's gonna happen. Yeah, no, that's true. That's actually a very positive way to look at it. Like, maybe he's just like, I'm down to just like let my assistants, you know, run things with my supervision and let them learn and support them because I'm good. So maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Especially when you're trying to break into shonen too. Because shonen is just, there's so many series that are there and happening always. And so getting a foot in the door can be very difficult. And so I think having someone like Kishimoto be like, all right, I'm backing you. Let's see what you can do. Like, go ahead. Is a very cool thing to do, especially if you're as solidified as he is. So, yeah, that's true. It's really cool. Oh my gosh, that scared me.
What? Oh.
Hi. Thank
Hi,
you.
Oh my god.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, darling.
Wanna say hi?
Hi.
Hi. What's going on? Can you see yourself?
Hi, Papa.
Hi.
Who's that? Who's that?
Aw, it's getting camera shy.
Get camera shy. Thank you for bringing me water.
Word.
Bye, bye.
Bye. Aw.
He's so big.
Bye-bye.
You're so big. Bye-bye. Oh.
He's so quizzical all the time. Cool. Is there anything else you guys want to touch on, or should we do final thoughts and ratings?
I feel like we've covered all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think,
Guess we didn't really talk about the dad, but he was there. He died.
He was there, yeah.
He died.
Yeah, this guy.
He made all the Sasuke's. He was very important,
he was a scientist. He wasn't like just a mechanic. He was a fucking full-on scientist.
Yeah.
Which, actually, that was like another thing that I was kind of weirded out about, was it seemed like scientists like aren't like, well, it's almost like they don't exist because they're like, we're samurai, we don't need science. Like, I don't, that's the vibe
They
that I
literally
got.
can't die. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
which is just like, it was weird to me because it's like, well, don't you need scientists to like think of new tech for your robot bodies? I don't understand.
Yeah, I remember thinking that as well. I was really surprised when I realized, like, oh, it's not that they can just like be rebuilt. It's that their bodies literally just rebuild themselves. So the concept of them like being a cyborg honestly doesn't go super far, aside from aesthetically being able to watch them like pop their bodies open constantly.
That's something I would be interested in learning, is the history of how the samurai came to be. Like, that lore would be very interesting, which I'm going to guess doesn't happen. We probably don't ever learn about that. And
Probably
if we do,
not.
if we do learn about it, it happens in 2 pages and it's from Daruma. But
yeah.
so
Also, oh my god, I feel this like God. I feel like the like toning in this manga, just God, if he just knew how to use more variety and like the screen tones and add a little bit of like different shades of gray here and there, this manga really could have just made it off the art alone. Because I'm looking at someone's revving stuff outside.
Rubbing?
I just
rubbing?
Revving.
Oh,
sorry.
No, I thought you
But,
said rubbing, and I was like, how do you know? How loud is the rubbing? Sorry.
No, but yeah, it's just like, it's so unfortunate because I'm looking at art where it's like colored in, and I'm like, man, this looks like cool for like a sci-fi spacey concept. Man, I want to keep reading. But then I'm just like, then you get into it, and then it's like, oh, this is not what I went in expecting. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put it down.
Yep. Should we do final thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of what we're doing anyway. I don't know what I would give this manga.
I know. I'm trying to like, because
I want to say like a 4 maybe.
Yeah.
Something around there. It's not bad, but it's not honestly not really worth reading. There is some cool world building there that, like Moeko was saying earlier, it's just, there is so many good ideas here that just didn't get executed properly. The way that the story flows is not great. The characters are not particularly interesting. The idea is very like conceptually interesting. And like Aaron said, if he wanted to take another crack at it, I would totally read it. But this just wound up not. I understand why it was canceled. Yeah. It's just all right. I give it a 4.
Cool. Moeka?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a 4 as well, because just everything just fell short. Feels bad.
Yeah, I was thinking of 4 as well, basically for the exact reasons that you guys said. I don't think it's worth reading. It's not terrible, but it was just like, okay. And I have sorry to disappoint you, Sashi Stat. I'm not giving it a 1 out of 10. My bad.
It'd be incredible.
It's not it's like it's not terrible. It's just okay what it is. And I definitely have more criticisms than positives about it. And I just didn't enjoy it. So it's hard to give it anything higher than that.
Yeah.
So.
Which I'm just like, they're like, there's 5 volumes. We only got through 2?
3.
So,
right?
3.
Okay.
Well,
according to the
so
splash screen,
3.
it's 3, but I've been wrong before.
Yeah, I'm like, what the? I kind of want to keep reading.
40-something chapters.
Okay, yeah, part of me is like, I want to keep fucking reading just to find out how the fuck this ends. Just like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I am curious. Like, did it wrap up or not? Did they just leave people hanging, or was there like some kind of like and it's over?
Yeah, oh my god. Maybe one day when I'm really, really bored, that's what I'll do. And then I'll update us so that you
Great.
don't all have to suffer.
I love it.
Thank you. Taking one for the team.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Cool. I think that wraps up our discussion on Samurai 8. If it sounds like something you're interested in, definitely go and check it out. I'm going to now read the description for the manga that we are reading next week, and everyone in chat gets to guess what it is. High school, senior year, spring, one of life's important forks in the road. Blank finds himself in the same class as Blank, who he feels strangely averse to, and his popular childhood friend, Blank. One day, Blank confides in him her love for Blank and asks him to help. How will Blank respond? The new pure love story begins as three are colored in the emotions of youth.
Naruto, you got it.
Yeah.
That's it.
We're actually
Crushed
reading
it.
Samurai 8
Unreal.
again.
I knew it sounded familiar. Aono Flag. Since the boss
Yeah,
got it.
we are reading Blue Flag. I love this manga. At least what I've read of it. I haven't read all of it. But we are reading volumes 1 through 4, chapters 1 through 33. People in chat are saying it sounds like every slice of life manga. It's not. It's really good. Great.
I trust you.
Not
I don't know anything
Spoiler.
about it.
spoiler
Aside
alert.
from that, all of the characters are colored with the colors of youth, I guess. That's all I know.
Description, I was like, what is happening in this description? But it's great. Good. So we
Yeah.
are going to be reading that next week. If you guys would like more MangaPod, we have a subreddit, reddit.com/r/MangaPod. We also have a website, which is mangapod.card.co, 2 R's within the card. And a Twitter and an Instagram, which are MangaPod, and you can go check us out over there. Let's go around and shout out our stuff super fast. I'm Erin at Happily Erin. You can find all the previous MangaPods on my YouTube channel, and then I am much more active on Twitter and Instagram. So if you want to come over and chat with me about Thai dramas or errands,
Or Aaron's.
you want to come chat about me with other
Aaron's in the
yeah.
world. How do you feel about Aaron Paul, Aaron?
He spells
How do you
his
feel
name
about
wrong.
Aaron Umatani?
They spell their names wrong.
They both
That's
spell
all.
their name wrong.
Yeah, that's
Got
all.
it. Nailed it.
That's me.
Hey guys, I'm Dodger. You can find me at Dex Bonus on pretty much everything. I stream almost every day. Do slice of life and variety stuff. But yeah, I would love it if you would come hang out. It's a good time.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Oh,
It
it is
is.
my turn. Oh, hello. I'm Moika. I am now a VTuber. I would
Yes.
also like it if you come over and watch my streams or check me out on Twitter. At Mega Moika, pretty much on all socials. Yeah, I'm excited to do more like just chatting streams where I don't have to worry about what I look like thanks to this VTuber. So. Everybody's talking. Yeah, I've been streaming a lot of Sinnoh Alice since it dropped globally now. And then, oh my god, no, Avi. Also, for my just chatting, I watched a really dumb reality TV show that
Love
somehow went. Yeah, it was like, oh, we're gonna do 30 minutes and then I'll be done. And then it was like 4 hours later. So if that's the kind of streams you want, come and stop by.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm still pitching. MangaPod, entirely virtual
Oh,
VTubers.
So
we could
into
all
it.
be VTubers on MangaPod.
so I'm gonna make it look
Yeah.
like how I do whenever you have to create a character, which is absolutely nothing like me, and kind of terrifying.
Perfect.
Kind of
Yeah, if
terrifyingly
you could make
hideous.
it, if we could make them look like our Miis,
Yeah.
that would be really great because we're both horrifying Miis.
I'm so scared.
Moeka looks like this amazing anime, like cutie patootie, and we're just like,
the dark circles under my eyes. What was it? I had my shirt on, the like emoji people. Oh, it said Thug Life on my shirt.
Yes. Yes.
It's great.
Perfect.
If you'd like to check out Lou, his Twitter is Lou Talks Anime. Go ahead and send him some love and good thoughts and all of that fun stuff. He will be back soon. Yeah. Is there anything else we need to speak of?
I don't think so. Speak of. I don't think so.
Cool. We will be here next week talking about Alno Flag or Blue Flag, chapters 1 through 4, chapters 1 through 33. Thank you all so much for listening and hanging out with us, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
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 Bye bye bye. Bye bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye bye. Bye bye bye.
Bye.